a new way moving forward together, one step at a time. I was thinking about Evan's role. Evan's been working with us as a chaplain throughout this year. And he told me this one story of a moment where someone called him out of the blue and they just finished work and there was a massive storm and they were on the Gosford side of the Central Coast. They needed to go to the Wyong side of the Central Coast. And all the buses and trains had stopped because of the storm. And the only person they could think to call was Evan, who they'd met at sundown sessions and through the different things he was doing. And so Evan decided, with his wisdom, that that was a good moment to load himself and his whole family in his car, drive out to where this person was working, pick them up, and drive them all the way to Wyong, which was an amazing thing. I was thinking about in that moment, what did that person need? A Bible verse would have been good, but it wouldn't have really helped them. What they needed was someone to help them take the next step on their journey, which was getting home in the middle of a storm when all the public transport had ended. And that's what I'd like our charity to be, a place where we do move forward together, just one step at a time. Whatever the next person needs in their journey, that's what I want to help people do. So that's what this report is a little bit about. So first, I better thank the people that have been funding us this year. So I just want to give a quick thank you to the Central Coast Council, the Vincent Fairfax Family Foundation, and CoScare, who have funded us at different parts of our journey. That's been good to sustain us through 2025. And in 2026, we'll see what the future holds, but we should give thanks where thanks is due. I'd also like to give thanks to the people who own our warehouse, who have continued to give us really cheap rent there. That's made all of this possible, and thankful to the entire community for how they've been helping. First, I want to talk about SafeLink Alliance. SafeLink Alliance gets 80 people a night recently. With 80 people there, some people will get a can and a hot drink, or some people might just get a can and some people might just get a hot drink. But I imagine we're giving about 100 drinks every Monday night, thanks to the generosity of people in our community. And so when you tally that together, that's 2,600 drinks served. Meeting the thirsty where they're at. It's been an absolute privilege to be invited into that space. Sire is obviously the leader of SafeLink Alliance, and he does an incredible job. And to be invited in as an organization that has a faith, and we not need to hide that, is a truly special thing. And he's even advertised us a few times as a church, which is great. So the day that we get visitors in the door is going to be amazing. I was away last Monday, and it was led by a team of volunteers without me there to make sure things are going safely. And one of the board members of SafeLink Alliance walked over to me and said, I sat and watched for a little while, and he was just amazed at how many names our people knew as people were coming to get their drink. He said they just knew people's names. And he said they didn't just know their names, they knew exactly what their coffee order was. You know, someone would walk up and, oh, it's Jenny. And they'd say, hi, Jenny, do you want your instant coffee with 2 sugars and milk? And she'd say, yes. And the board member was just amazed that our people haven't just gone down there and handed out drinks, but also got to know the people that we're serving. And so I'd just love to invite Sire. Sire.
Thanks for inviting me, Lewis, into a new way in this AGM meeting. The reason I'm in Australia and probably sitting here with my family is because of my faith and because of the church. So I was brought to Australia with the Tongan Free Church under my grandfather. So faith is always in the background for me. It's the reason I choose not to show it, I guess, is because I want to attract everyone. And I believe I don't need to show my faith in order to attract everyone. And I don't want to detract depending on how that looks. I've got beautiful people within my my board, including a chaplain. And then in August last year, Lewis reached out to SafeLink Alliance, not realizing that I'm the founder of SafeLink Alliance. When Lewis reached out to me, it was beautiful because I had crossed paths with Lewis before 7 years ago, and we were very good friends from then. So for Lewis to reach out to me, it means God had a plan for us. That plan has come together beautifully, and in order for me to, provide that beauty of what my faith is, I believe a new way has brought that out without me having to put it on to the people that probably may not need it from my angle, right? In order for me to be, I guess I keep it because I have beautiful Muslim people of faith. I have all different faiths within my charity, within my volunteer group. And a new way is to join up with Lewis. There was something meant to be there. I feel really connected, and obviously for Lewis to reach out to us, SafeLink Alliance, not knowing it was me, it was even better that we knew each other. We've moved forward since August last year. The people that come down, they come down with gratitude, which is I'm so grateful for. But I guess they share that soul nourishing of giving. So I'm very grateful to be here. I'm very appreciative of A New Way's support weekly, and it's helped grow our service to 80 people currently, which is quite concerning of the outlook of the socio-economic. You've got people that are just middle class and struggling, but we allow to go to the people in their time of most vulnerability, and we show them that there's no judgment, and we connect. And that's my ultimate goal, to make sure that they're seen, they feel seen, they're supported. It's those connections of where they feel like they're seen, but I believe it's also when you make them feel seen, their lives could be changed because they feel like they're supported. So very grateful for what we do together. I'm proud of where SafeLink Alliance and A New Way is, including other services combining. And I believe we're just at the beginning.
Thank you so much, Si, for sharing.
Thank you.
And it's a real privilege to be invited in, and we can't wait to see what the future holds. So thank you.
A lot together.
Next up, I wanted to just talk about youth justice. The story that sticks out to me was Christmas Day, going in and meeting pretty much all of the young people. But that morning, I think I shook about 75 hands, including the hand of a sick inmate that we reached in just through the cell door and shook his hand. And every single young person in there received a gift from the centre, and from us, they received a card with a prayer inside. And the prayer read, "May the light of the world shine in the darkness. May the bread of life fill our hungry hearts. May living water fill our thirsty souls. May we know the truth. May we know the way. May we know God is with us. Emmanuel. Amen." It's been amazing going into Frank Baxter. It's the highlight of my ministry currently. Currently, we are helping to facilitate the monthly service, chapel service that's happening up there. And just meeting the young people and hearing them sing along with my terrible guitar playing does give me goosebumps. And you can hear the boys in the background singing a song, and not just any song, but a song that we wrote specifically for Frank Baxter. The chorus says, "God, you're here on the mountain," Carryong Mountain, and you hear in the valley, they're obviously in a valley season of their lives, "I know you're with me." And it goes on to say, "You're even with me in a cell of my own making. In a cell of my own making, you were with me." And I can hear the boys singing these words. I invited Simon to share with our board and our members if what we're doing is any help at all.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. Look, I've been blown away by the support that A New Way's given Frank Baxter. I've only been in the chaplaincy role for about 6 months now, and I was a youth officer in the centre before that for about 4 years. So I've spent a fair bit of time at Frank Baxter with young people in the juvenile justice setting. But the timing of A New Way coming along was an absolute godsend into the space that we work in each and every day. Probably sort of around that August, September mark, I hadn't been in the role long. Lewis reached out, and it just happened to be perfect timing. We were just starting things like chapel. We're trying to get some weekly programs up and running. And at that exact time, Lewis and A New Way reached out with Evan and Lewis. And look, I chatted to them very briefly before working out that these were two amazing people that wanted to help the young people on the Central Coast in their darkest hours. So we started working together. We started with a Wednesday night or Wednesday afternoon session where we brought all different units up to spend time with both Lewis and Evan. The boys wrote some music with them. They talked about their values. They talked about faith. They explored identity. Um, and you could tell that these boys were just really hungry for what Lewis and Evan were sharing. Um, the ability of Lewis and Evan goes without saying. They both just form genuine rapport with the young people and can relate to them from the word go. And that just made such a difference in how effective they were in their ministry in the time that they've spent there. That program went for the whole of term 4 of 2025. And straight away, I was getting requests of when the program's coming back, when's it starting up again, that sort of thing. And had to be really careful in what I've said to the young people, because if you give them a little bit of something, they'll hold you to it. So obviously, Lewis has been in the centre ever since, though. He's formed some beautiful relationships with lots of the young people in the centre. As he said, Lewis came on Christmas Day, when most of our staff and management aren't to be seen, if I'm being honest. Most people are with their families Christmas Day. Here was Lewis handing out Christmas presents to the young people, getting these cards around to each and every single person. But the beautiful thing watching it was they already knew Lewis. This was not new to them. They already knew Lewis. They had a relationship with Lewis. So when Lewis walked in on Christmas Day, it wasn't a surprise. If anything, it was just really comforting for the young people that Lewis was around and Lewis was there on such a special, but also really difficult day for all of our young people in Frank Baxter, being away from family, away from friends, etc. Since then, Lewis has started helping us with Sunday Chapel. Emily's also joined him on a number of occasions, and that has been such a blessing. We went from 3 young people, I think, in our first chaplaincy service that we ran on a Sunday morning. Sunday just gone, I think we had 12 or 13 boys in the service, singing praise to God and hearing scripture, reading Bibles, sharing food together. It was just amazing. I can't share what that feels like when you see young people in such a tough setting, hearing the word of the gospel, but also singing along and giving worship and just exploring their faith and what that might look like to them, and doing it in such a safe way that only Lewis can sort of do it in. Both Lewis and Emily have shared their testimony with the boys and shared what it means to be vulnerable, what that looks like, and that it's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable in front of others. It's okay to be yourself. And that's just been a beautiful gift that they've given our young people. Hope that's an update. Hope that covers it off. We feel super grateful for what A New Way's already done. I feel grateful as a chaplain up there, but thanks to Lewis, thanks to Emily, thanks to Evan, getting alongside me, it's made the trip so much more enjoyable and easier so far. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Simon. And I just want to thank you again and thank you for sharing on our Zoom.
No worries, Lewis. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Simon.
I was able to pull the young fella who read the Bible on Sunday out of my recording. This was the scripture we read on Sunday just gone.
We are being punished fairly. We are getting just what our actions were all for, but this Mary hasn't done anything wrong. Then we said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus answered him, what I'm about to tell you is true. Today you will be with me in paradise.
And so that was a story we told the thief on the cross on Sunday. Yeah, for every boy to open their Bible, and then I asked for a volunteer to read, and someone actually put up their hand and offered to read. It's sort of a miracle when that happens, even in a normal church service. So for it to happen at Frank Baxter was truly, truly special. Quickly, Pacific Link Housing has been an awesome relationship. The thing that I'm most proud of at the moment isn't just the fact that we've been going in there and building relationship, but Pacific Link reached out to us as a charity recently about a woman who had half of her house burnt down and she had to relocate. urgently. And I sent out a message to a New Way community, and within 24 hours, we'd raised $600 to go to that family to buy supplies for food, to buy supplies for clothing and different things they might need, to refill their pantries. And then a lot of families, as well as Safe Liquor Alliance, donated food and food they could freeze or eat for lunches and dinners. And I know that family was so grateful. But the thing that Adele, who we work with at Pacific Link, said was that she just wanted them to be around good community. And she said, you guys are just safe people. And if you're visiting, and she said maybe her son could come along to Wednesday nights. And Adele was just excited about that because she knows that. So we have 4 people from Pacific Link already coming and attending our Wednesday nights, only because I went and started having coffee with them on Wednesday mornings in their community centre. And from there, they've since come on Wednesday nights. They are talking about baptism, and their parents have already had discussions with me on Wednesday mornings asking what exactly that might mean. So you can pray for me as I navigate those conversations. It's pretty special that Pacific Link Housing sees us as a safe organisation. You know, it's like they know us by our fruit. And so we've been building those relationships, and that's been really amazing. Amongst all of that, we've been giving gifts and pure benevolence. I totaled about 600 gifts we've given out, whether that's board games, whether that's Christmas presents, school backpacks, Easter eggs to the hospital for the children's ward. Evan's been a great help with delivering all of those things. Anytime we've asked our community to respond, our community has responded instantly. We don't do offering talks on a Wednesday night. We don't pass around the collection plate. But it seems whenever I put something in our group chat that someone in our community is in need, our community responds. And there's something pure and generous about that that I absolutely love about our community. Sundown sessions. This is our Wednesday night service where we share from the Word, we share communion, we have some social time. We got this Google review. The people here truly embrace you as part of their family, showing genuine warmth and kindness. They're some of the most relatable and humble individuals you'll ever encounter, making you feel completely at home. I truly cherish my time here and always feel uplifted. And that little message was from someone who didn't walk into our room interested in faith at all. In fact, on their first session, they told Evan, they said, I am not here for the Christian stuff. I'm just here for the social stuff. And they've been coming every week ever since. And now they've been sharing communion with us, which is so amazing. Sundown sessions haven't grown into a mega church. We don't have 2,000 people. We don't have screens or lights. And I guess the ego in me wishes we were a little bit bigger night to night. But the people that we do have in the room are people that really do need it. And I would say probably more than 80% of the room weren't previously involved in an institutional church before A New Way started. So we're small, but before we started, most of our people were nowhere in community. And so that is truly special. And I want to continue to be a space for that.
I think I've probably already shared that it's been life-changing for our family. Love that it's a space that we all feel welcome, we all can come to. It's been life-changing, just even in the language that happens in our family and the way that we all connect and have that common thread of faith now is amazing. So yeah, life-changing, even though we've been involved in church for a long time in some capacity or other.
That is good to know. Even the 20% who have been involved in church, it's been good for. That's good to know as well. For the board members who weren't there on the Wednesday, we've had an individual coming along on Wednesday nights who came from overseas, and she shared what A New Way meant to her because she's traveling back home. But I recorded the video for people that didn't get to be there to see it. But she's going to speak about what our Wednesday night is more than I ever could. So the next slide is that video, and I'm going to share it with you all now. And you'll hear her parting words as she travels back to Austria. When she came here, she was not a Christian, and she's leaving back to Austria a follower of Jesus. So this is an amazing little story.
When I flew to Australia, I was technically not allowed to fly because I just had a knee operation 6 days earlier, but I was kind of running away from Austria. And I arrived, and the first 2 months I was on bed rest because I couldn't walk yet, and it was really lonely. So I decided to Google for a church, and I found this place, and I came, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made. Sorry, I'm a really emotional person. This place has meant a lot to me, and it's giving me a community and kind of a family I never had. Sorry. And also, I found God here, which I didn't really think I would, to be honest, because I was quite mad at him all my life. But I'm kind of getting along with him now, which is crazy. Like, I'm praying and I'm not mad anymore, and I feel happy and at peace. And today I was freaking out a bit about flying back to Austria. And I actually had a picture in my room when I was a kid that was the only thing that like calmed me down and somehow made me feel safe. It was that one. So I was like, okay, that's another sign. So that was crazy. So anyways, thank you all so much for including me and just being there for me and supporting me. It's honestly been really, really amazing.
I think that explains what a sundown session is better than I could. It's it's giving people family, and it's giving people hope. It's giving people whatever they need as their next step. Next is our Canvas of Faith program. The idea being that could our organisation help young people express themselves through art, specifically with their Christian story and peer-to-peer evangelism? What that means is, can young people use their art to show the love of God? I've realised that we've done that. We also needed to have some artistic mentors come and show other young people how to use their art to make a difference. And we've done that. So we have so many works of art coming through, and not just from our community, but from people from Pacific Link Housing. We've had some of the boys go and play music on Monday nights in Kibble Park. We have some of the most least likely characters to ever get up and talk about Christianity create works of art, like this New Life poster. The young artist who created that, it's halfway finished. They're going to complete it for our art exhibition. But it's an old building, an old Colosseum that's falling apart and cracked, but flowers are growing from within the Colosseum, this new life bursting forth. Similarly, our friend Rory created this work of art. The specific art symbol she has there represent community and finding community, and the whale represents the Narara area, and her work of art represents becoming part of a new way and finding community amongst us here on the Central Coast, and that's really, really special. Similarly, obviously, our whole warehouse was painted by unbelievable artists. Every young person that walks in is always amazed and inspired by these guys who did that. So we have our art exhibition coming up on March 25th, and all the young people who have been creating are going to get the chance to do that. Here's a quick video of one of the open mic nights we did where plenty of people got up and shared their art, and we're going to do, this is a little bit what March 25th will feel like.
We love the vibe. Tonight was great.
Awesome space, awesome vibe. I'm gonna be back next month for sure, 100%. Coming down every Sunday.
This is the Sunday Rhythms open mic night. We had all sorts of people, spoken word artists, musicians, rappers, MCs. We played some games. It's been really good to have the youth worker hat on to set up this space. So we want to keep doing this.
We had some good vibes, some good music, some really cool people coming up.
I like an open night because I like music and I like musical instruments.
How you doing? It's Evan here. I'm the community chaplain at A New Way, and tonight we just wrapped up an incredible event that we put on for creatives or anyone in our community to come down, experience some music, some stories, and to have people have a platform to be able to share their music in a really positive and safe environment, and to have a space where they know they're supported, that they're cared for, and that they're free to be themselves.
I mean, it was full of like laughter. There was like some like really deep and meaningful moments.
Man, it was such a good night tonight. There was lots of music, fantastic musicians, great singers.
There was also a lot of talented artists here tonight. Not just music, but also spoken poetry, and also like a few games like Pictionary, but you have to rap.
Everyone got up, performed, everyone was awesome. Super good sounding. It's a great venue in here. It's really nice. A lot of space, a lot of nice people, good coffee, good vibe. I loved it. And an impromptu performance from me and the boys. So that was scary, but it was fun.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. That was so good.
The night was amazing and awesome, and definitely would come again if I lived around here 100%.
So that is Camps of Faith. So March 25th, we'll be showing all the young people who've created works of art, whether that's music, whether that's dancing, whether that's digital art, or lots of different mediums. So if you want to come along to that, you are more than welcome. Evan is going to help me host that, so that's great. Just quickly, our reach. Something that keeps amazing me is that our podcast, which is our recordings from Wednesday night, seem to be going very, very far. At this point, nearly 30% of our listeners are in the United States. I don't know how they've found us, but they have, and they're listening to our Wednesday night talks. And just on Monday night, just gone, someone came up to me and said they found our podcast and they've been listening to one episode every morning. And I thought, well, that's amazing. People have somehow found us, and it's encouraging them in the morning. So our charity is local. We are a Central Coast local charity. That's where we want to make a difference. But it's amazing, without even trying, people all over the world are hearing us. That is encouraging. So what does the future hold? Very quickly, it is important for me as the director to be realistic about our future. What does the future hold? Moving forward together one step at a time towards sustainability. Our board and our core members, I think this year we need to reflect on what it means to be a sustainable charity, even just for a little bit into the future. There is a few ways that we need to do that. First of all, we do need to reduce staffing. So at the moment, we don't currently have funding for Evan's role, although we do have a little bit of money set aside ready for when we kick back up prison ministry, just a little bit there when we are able to be more sustainable in that area. And myself, I'm going to take another leap of faith. So as you all know, I've been on staff for 3.5 days a week. It was a big leap of faith to leave my full-time job and step into my role at A New Way. But I do believe halfway through this year, I should step back again to 2.5 days a week and take another risk. For one reason, I do believe that's necessary for sustainability, to reduce our expenses. And secondly, now that I have my celebrant's license to do weddings, I can believe in faith that God will provide, and I can every now and then on a weekend go and do a wedding or a funeral. In the future, it would be great to work full-time for A New Way, but I know that that's not what this year holds. So halfway through the year, I'm going to take a risk and go down to 2.5 days a week, which should basically pay my rent and pay for my car and pay for my electricity and my insurance. So that will be fine. Secondly, we need to increase core supporters. Currently, even if I do reduce my staffing, we will run out of finances, and that includes finances to pay for our rent, in October, November. So about halfway through October, the start of November, we will run out of funding to pay our rent and pay for staffing. And that's if I reduce my staffing. How do we fix that? If over the next 2 years, we increase our donations by $19,800 a year, then that will extend the runway till the end of 2027. So basically, we need to increase our donations by $19,800 a year for this year and next, and that will help us last until the end of 2027, which obviously gives us more time to consider grants for growth. We shouldn't rely on grants for sustainability. We shouldn't rely on grants for our core work. we should rely on them for growth. So if we can increase our runway to when we run out of money, then we have more time to consider grants for growth, if that makes sense. So $19,800, and that's if our current giving stays the same. And currently we get about $600 a week in donation, but we'll explore that more in the financial reports. But I am willing to take a leap of faith myself and take a reduction in staffing halfway through the year, which is strategic because that will give me just enough time to get married and pay for a wedding. So for now, I've got a little bit of time left to take a leap of faith. I just want to end with, I've met a good friend on Monday nights. His name's Guy. He's my friend because he came up to me. He visited on 2 Wednesday nights and he said that I'm the best communicator of Bible stories he's ever heard. And since then, I've been a great friend of his because he's very kind. He's being far, far, far too kind. But he did buy me a book. And the book is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, the Horse, and the Storm. And it's a beautiful book. He said I'd love this book. And yeah, I believe our vision for this year is moving forward together one step at a time. Sometimes that's picking someone up in the middle of a storm and driving them home. That's the next step in their journey. For some people, it is hearing the gospel. I'm sure every time we head up to Frank Baxter, there's a young person whose next step is just believing that there's a God, and we can help them with that. For some people, their next step is they've been thirsty all day and all they need is a bottle of water, or perhaps we have children that come along, and a few weeks ago there was one child who came and their plate was empty. And our friends usually get food before they come to our table for a drink, where we have lollies as well. And the mum said, you need to go back and get dinner. And the kid said, no. And they walked right up to our table and just took a handful of lolly snakes and put them on their plate. And I thought, well, if that child's next step is having a bit of joy in their life with a few lolly snakes, and that's their dinner, well, there's a few nights a week where I've had ice cream for dinner as well. So why can't we all have that experience? But everyone just has another step. And I want us to be a charity that walks alongside people and just gives them that one next step towards the light, towards the way. So reading from the Boy, the Mole, the Horse, the Fox, and the Storm, it says this: I can't see a way through, said the boy. Can you see your next step? Yes. Well, then just take that. Sometimes, said the mole, every step you take is a victory. We're working with a lot of different people, and some of them just need to take one more step. And I want us to be a community that walks alongside people and helps them take that next step, because every step is a victory in someone's journey.